Good morning, everyone. My name is Anna Anders, humbly here on the YouTube channel and on social media, Facebook. And I just want to thank you for watching my videos and supporting my videos that I humbly do one day at a time. So, anyways, after a moment of silence, I want to say the Serenity Prayer, and then I'm going to talk a little bit. So please and thank you. And a moment of silence for the sick and suffering on the planet, for the exploited and desecrated, for the correct political history being covered up, desecrated, exploited, and slaughtered throughout corrupt history from the 1% parasitical elite, globalist, warmongers who's been hiding a lot of stuff. A lot of sacred truth is what it is. So amongst stealing and exploiting sacred Mother Earth's gifts that she has gifted to us, we the people on the planet, our humanity. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. Because, yeah, this is not a vanilla ice cream world that we live in today. It's a Neapolitan world. And so all cultures need to be respected, as well as all people, everyone, everywhere. No exceptions. Okay, done. Aho esquale kuna. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Okay. Guys, I get up every morning and I don't know how not to think, but I'm just going to share some things with you very briefly here to consider, to think about, okay? What I want you to think about for a moment is to think about this. Once upon a time, this is not a fairy tale, this is facts, okay? Once upon a time, here in corrupt Cleveland, Ohio, one of the richest men in the world lived here, and his name was John D. Rockefeller. And this man had a vision that he would own oil, the oil and stuff, and so, he followed through with all of that. The Industrial Revolution evolved from that, but also what I want to say is he had a vision, and the vision that he had for us was the establishment of all these hospitals, okay? So if you were to come to corrupt Cleveland, Ohio today, you would see all kinds of hospitals. They're all named, by the way, University Hospital now. But and if you check into those names, you will find out who's really behind University Hospital, guys. And I will tell you, most likely it's going to be a lot of Israel, corrupt Israel supporters that way. So that's what I want to tell you. And I happen to know this because I worked in orthopedics for 5 years. My name is Anna Anders. Humbly, I'm one of the founders of forglobalpeace.com. I know a little bit about medicine because I used to work for the doctors. And I think I did a good job because they had me not open up one practice, but 2 practices. So from Lutheran Medical Center over to St. Vincent Charity Hospital, and then I was out from there. And the reason I believe that I was out from there was because Dr. Brightman, okay, this is a true story, guys. Dr. Brightman, this was a doctor who played around and stuff, was married, I believe 3 times. He got married and divorced 3 times. But believe it or not, each new wife that he got, her name was Gloria. So the last Gloria that he married, I believe she had me fired. So, you can't have a beautiful young lady in the office with the doctor who's been going through people's lives and getting married and divorced. So that's the name of that story. And I thought I would retire from that job, but that didn't turn out to be true. So instead, I'm a peace activist, a broke-ass peace activist, and I'm proud to be it. So that's where I'm at today, humbly on this planet, trying to make some peace flags as a result of a domestic violence situation. But back to the story about the Rockefellers. So the Rockefeller, Mr. Rockefeller, if you will, and I'm giving him like a title, Mr. Rockefeller. God, that sucks. Okay, but anyways, Mr. Rockefeller, his vision was that he was going to use the oil. He was going to use the oil for the big pharma industry, okay, and the hospital industry. So that's what he was going to do, and he did it, okay. And so, what I want to ask you today, people, is this question: how many people do you know today that have cancer? How many people do you know today that have cancer? Okay? And what I want to say is that a normal human body that is healthy with no problems, how does the cancer get into the body? How does the cancer get in there, people? You know, we have a pH, we are mostly made up of water, okay? Our bodies are mostly made up of water. And there's a pH balance that gets disrupted. So have your pH balances checked, okay? If your doctor is concerned about cancer, get your pH balance checked, and Google and YouTube that information. But what I want to say is, yeah, so when you put corrupt food and corrupt drinks into a healthy body, you're going to end up with cancer. Cancer is the answer, okay? Cancer is the answer. And Rockefeller knew that he was going to do the cancer industry. I kid you not. So there's documentaries you can watch that's called The Cancer Reports, and you can learn about the cancer industry, because there's big bucks in cancer. Okay, they get to collect it because everybody feels bad for people that have cancers. They do walks, they do runs, and they climb mountains out in Flagstaff, Arizona. But no one wants to talk about the real answer and the real solution. And the real solution is organic food. With, balancing out your pH in your body, not corrupt food. So that's what happened. And what I want to talk about a little bit too, by the way, my aunt, through marriage, my Aunt Mary Anders, okay, once upon a time, she was the director. Okay, she wasn't the assistant, she was the director of the School of Nursing at Metro Health Medical Center. She was, and it was there for 30 years, people. 30 years. And Anna Anders, used to sit across the table from her. We used to have very private and intimate lunches and dinners together, because she loved me and I loved her, and she loved my children, and she loved our family, and she was trying to be of service to us. She knew that I was in deep doo-doo because of my alcoholic husband. So she was trying to be there with us. And at the same time, I was going to school to become a registered nurse. Well, that School of Nursing, Metro Health Medical Center, closed its doors. They would have been in big trouble if they would have kept their doors open. I did get accepted, but at the same time, the School of Nursing closed, and so I took it as a major sign that I wasn't supposed to become a nurse. And truth be told, my motives were not right. See, I wanted to become a nurse because financially it would have taken care of the family. That's not a good motive. Spiritual motives are better. Spiritual motives weigh more in the long run than financial, okay, people? So just understand that. But what I want to say is, back to this eating. So when we eat, if we eat healthy food, then we're going to have healthy bodies. That's what it is right there. So do the math. But I want to give a shout out real quick to Flagstaff, Arizona, corrupt Flagstaff, Arizona, corrupt Zog-infested, Zog-infested, Zionist-occupied Flagstaff, Arizona. The reason they're there is because of the uranium mines, which are there, and they're still building bombs in Williams, Arizona. And I know that for a fact because recently I had a roommate, his name was John, a full-blown alcoholic roommate. I didn't know this. We moved into a situation, I thought the guy was clean and sober, and so did Carrie. But we moved into a situation that the guy was a full-blown alcoholic, but they had him building bombs out in Williams, Arizona. I was like, are you kidding me? So here's a mobile home. On one end of the mobile home is two peace activists, Carrie and I, and then on the other end of the mobile home was John, who was a full-blown alcoholic building bombs in Williams, Arizona. So that tells you the integrity of people that they use to build those bombs over in Williams, Arizona. Very shady stuff. So, however, long story short, John had to move, and we turned the home into a 12-step recovery home where you had to be clean and sober. If you weren't clean and sober, you didn't stay at the home. We would boot you out. So that was the name of that tune. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it, but, we did what we could do to be of service, spiritually speaking, for the sick and suffering. So God bless everyone everywhere. That's what I want to say. But back to a shout out to corrupt Flagstaff, Arizona. I'm talking about Whole Foods, specifically, who took over New Frontier's health food store. So New Frontier's health food store was taken over. My other half used to work there, Carrie. And New Frontier's health food store, when I come home here to corrupt Cleveland to look for Gina, there was a situation that happened in Flagstaff, Arizona at New Frontier's health food store, and it can be verified. So what I want to say is the FBI literally showed up at New Frontier's health food store and flashed their badges to the produce guys there at the time when I was here in corrupt Cleveland looking for Gina. They flashed their badges to say, what kind of fruits and vegetables are you guys selling here? And so they actually used FBI intimidation practices on the produce people because they were selling high quality pH foods to the consumers in the community of Flagstaff, Arizona. So that's why they got tagged that way. See how shady they are? They don't go after the real shady characters. They go after the people that are trying to really heal people and help people. So in the meantime, Whole Foods bought out New Frontier's health food store. Now, if you walk in there today, people, I want to tell you something. If you walk into Whole Foods today, which originally used to be New Frontier's health food store, if you walk in there today, the first thing you're going to see, mainly, when you walk in there, is not the produce section anymore. You're going to be meted and greeted upon with all these lovely bottles of wine, all kinds of wine. You know, so it just goes to show you what they want our college kids in a college town, Flagstaff, Arizona, border town, to consume. So it's not about eating healthy, okay? It's about the rich getting wealthy is what I'm throwing out to you today. So Whole Foods, be careful, people, because I know they're pawning off food Whole Foods is pawning off foods that's supposed to be whole and organic and original in nature. But what I got to tell you, people, if this piece of fruit or vegetable doesn't decompensate and turn into mold, then it's not organic. If it doesn't turn into mold and have fruit flies hanging around it, then it's not organic, baby. Something's been manipulated in it. And so this is where the cancer comes into play, because everything is being genetically modified. See? And the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and the Whole Food people at the top, they're not going to come out and drop it like it's hot with the truth. They're not going to tell us that. They will not tell us that. I'm going to shut off this video and do a second one.